Hello and welcome to game number 2 between nAni and DIMAGA. nAni will be playing as the pink Protoss once again on the left hand side, and DIMAGA will be playing as the red Zerg player on the right hand side. The map is Scrap Station, and this really reminds me of camping for some reason, but I don't recall the camping grounds being dark gray bluish. And we will see nAni has opened up with a gateway at the front. This is a really good idea, putting a pylon there and a gateway, but you have to be careful the placement of your stalkers, zealots, and sentries, because this is a really tiny gap, and of course you want to be able to defend both these structures, and any structures you put over here or over here or over here. It's just really important for you to get the spacing of those buildings right, otherwise it would just make you look foolish. And we do see the spawning pool as well as the extractor going down. Around 15 drones for DIMAGA at the moment. And oh yeah, a suggestion to my viewers: do not go camping with a newly upgraded iPhone 3GS on the iOS 4 platform, because it has really bad battery life. So when you're out in the wild, stealing Wi-Fi, making your mark on the trees, if you don't make sure to find a tree with an electrical outlet, your GPS will go WTF and you will be LOST. And it looks like nAni has taken his gas as well, and DIMAGA will be having that spawning pool finish in any moment now, and he does have an overlord floating over at his natural expansion. DIMAGA really does not like to take his expansions, it looks like, as this game and the previous game, neither of which he has decided to go for the hatchery until much later. And a cyber core is coming out. There is a little gap over here that will allow entry of zealots and sentries and stalkers and also zerglings as well as roaches, I believe. And there's one probe dancing back and forth. We'll be meeting his doom relatively soon, as a bunch of zerglings coming to kill him off. And a queen is about to spawn for DIMAGA as the queen's first duty. Let's see if he wants to spread creep or inject. It looks like that's what he will be doing. And if we take a look at the front of nAni's base, it looks like he will be putting down a forge. The Roach Warren has recently been constructed by DIMAGA, and the first stalker is out on the field, and some zerglings chasing this probe around the map, and the probe is trying to buy himself a little bit more time. His base, that is not himself, he is going to die off relatively soon, and the base is having a very nice formation at the front. There's a pylon over here and another pylon over here, double pylon powering all three of these structures. Very good placement, but you have to be careful as a Protoss player. This is a double choke. Not only are you choking your enemies' units, you're also choking your own units. Basically, this line divides civilization and your empire. So if we take a look at the units out right now, we see one sentry and one stalker. There's absolutely no zealots out on the field just yet, and it looks like that one zergling has already killed off that one probe, and the zerglings might be thinking about taking down these backside of destructible rocks, as his opponent does not have that many units. He will be having one cannon here. It looks like he's waiting on those minerals. He's letting it build up. He might be thinking about expanding very shortly. And these zerglings trying to come in. You don't want the stalker in the front. You really want the zealot in the front. But that's quite alright. He does switch it out right now, as these zerglings are going to be working on the destructible debris on the side. And it looks like nAni will be putting up that expansion. I don't think he saw this. nAni would cancel this if he sees these zerglings working on it, and there are some roaches on the way for DIMAGA as they're running across the map. It looks like there's going to be 4 roaches. These zerglings are here and they're dealing a lot of damage to the destructible debris, and it looks like the Nexus was cancelled, and nAni will be rebuilding pylon, gateway to try to deal with this pressure from DIMAGA. Once again, DIMAGA playing very well here, moving back those zerglings individually, and there was a lot of hurt zerglings, and this set of destructible rocks is about to go down, and there's some zerglings and some roaches approaching, and this is a very bad position for nAni. If we take a look at the units tab, there is 6 roaches, 25 zerglings versus 1 stalker, 1 zealot, and 2 sentries. Sentries are really good, and it looks like they will be able to put down about 3 force fields at the moment, and as time goes by they will be able to put down more. And this warp gate is being chrono boosted so that he can get more units out, and the roaches will be able to come here and try to pick off this warp gate, as another warp gate is coming online. And it looks like nAni is building back into his base, which is a really good idea, because he is probably going to lose this gateway here, as he only has 1 stalker, another stalker coming in right now. And this gateway will go down. He will need to put down a good force field. A very good force field is placed, cutting this Zerg force in half, and there's about 2 roaches on the top ramp, and that one cannon really helped out against that one roach. And this is a really high pressure situation, and another force field goes off. I think nAni was baiting DIMAGA there, as DIMAGA did get some of the zerglings inside One probe went down, but it looks like that's about all the damage that he's going to take. He needs to keep on focusing on this force field, and he does put out another very good one. And meanwhile in the back, the Zerglings are all but gone right now. The two Stalkers are going to be working on that, and he will be putting down, he probably needs another pylon here, and he will be putting out another pylon with a cannon. And this is a very good hold from these force fields. Just absolutely brilliant play with the good placement of the force field. Absolutely perfect. And DIMAGA does have another way in over here. He might be thinking about peeking over there, and he will be doing that. And he's still sticking with one base, whereas nAni is opening up, it looks like 5 gates. He is getting the +1 weapons attack. That will help his Zealot tremendously against those Zerglings, because it will be able to kill them in 2 hits instead of 3. And he might also consider rebuilding the Cyber Core, because this Cyber Core is relatively weak, and it is the structure that is not really protected at the moment. He could still fall back into his base, and it would still be okay, as he does have 2 cannons on the ramp, and he can force field as much as he like. But it looks like DIMAGA is going to continue this strike, as he's going to work on these set of destructive rocks from both sides, as he wants to reduce that distance between the bases. He really wants to finish this game now, because he knows that he is behind economically. If we take a look at the income tab, he is slightly behind, looks like about 200 minerals or so, and he's also not getting any gas. He will be focusing mainly on perhaps a Zergling army, or maybe he's thinking about moving out and expanding. I'm not quite sure what he's planning to do, as nAni is building up quite a sizable force. He is warping a lot of units, and he is going to move out. He will be putting down a pylon over here, and this Stalker Sentry Force might be surrounded by Zergling and Roaches, and these Roaches are working on the rocks and will get sniped. 2 of them get sniped. The 3rd one is going down at the moment. Roaches coming from the other side. He wants to get them. He wants to trap them. He does, and brilliant force fields on the left side, a little bit on the right side, but this is really not the best force field position. You really want the force fields closer to your force, because these Zerglings are still hitting those sentries and Stalkers, and it looks like the Zerglings will be able to take down a lot of those sentries. That is a heavy price to pay for some Miss Micro, and it looks like that DIMAGA has taken the lead. The unit's loss for nAni is tremendous. It is about 2 to 1. About 1,500 or so lead, and he might be taking down the Cyber Core. He really needs to put down another Cyber Core somewhere if he wants to stay in this game. nAni at a dangerous position right now. 1 Stalker, 3 sentries. He is still trying to hold, not giving up, and this Zealot is going to be able to lure some of them in to get shot by this photon cannon, but they can just wait and regenerate their health. If we take a look at both players' production tab, it looks like DIMAGA will be expanding. DIMAGA thinks he could handle the forces of nAni, and nAni is chrono boosting, spending all of his chrono boost on these warp gates, and the warp gates are absolutely critical, because when you can make more and more units, you will be able to survive and possibly expand, and nAni is in a whirl of hurt. But every second that passes by, his forces will get stronger, as we have seen. He pretty much tripled his forces just then, and a Cyber Core has finished. He will be able to warp in some sentries once again. And I think he wants to hold his ramp, whereas DIMAGA is going to be expanding out. His hatchery is about 70% complete, and nAni can't really make a mistake here. He is trying to lure the Roaches in. Even the Roaches have the upgrade. The Stalkers still have 2 more upgrades, 2 more range than the Roaches, I believe. Yeah, 6 to 4. And the Stalker is trying to lure them in. He wants to be able to cut those Roaches in half, and he rages on the little robot in the middle. And this pylon might go down, as additional Stalkers are coming in to reinforce with Zealots. Very, very good idea, as he does have enough sentries, I believe. And he's going to come out here. If he can get a good cut on these Roaches, it will be really good. And the Zealots are coming and working on the Roaches, and the Zerglings simply cannot get a surround. That is a really good usage of the force fields. I think he has taken the advantage with those force fields. These Roaches might think about retreating, as they're not going to retreat, and they're trying to focus fire on the sentry. We'll be able to take down that 1 sentry, as the Zealot and the Stalker and sentry combination will be able to finish off those Roaches. Looks like he might be able to pick off this one over the 1 more shot. Ooh, he gets it. Nice play there by nAni, holding it off. A very, very powerful charge from DIMAGA, but now it looks like DIMAGA is not in the driver's seat anymore, and nAni is marching across with a ginormous army. He will be putting down a pylon, probably waiting for 1 more round of warbins before he finishes, and there's a lot of spine crawlers. 1 spine crawler in production, and it looks like Zerglings and Roaches. And let's see what's going to happen, as this probe is harassing the base of the hatchery at the moment, and the destructible debris is going to go down really, really fast. If we take a look at the army size right now, 56 to 65, but DIMAGA does not really have that big of an income, and he was at an income deficit for most of the game. And there is that one little robot saying, "Don't kill me, please. I'm just a robot." And the Queen is coming across to possibly inject a lava into the hatchery, and he can't really do it, and the sentries are focus firing. The Roaches are coming in. He can get very good force fields there, preventing the Zerglings from coming in. He might be able to take the game here, as the Zealots are rushing forward, killing off the roaches preventing them from retreating, and the Guardian Shield goes up, and the Zerglings fall, and I think nAni will be able to take this. DIMAGA GG's out of the game.